Hi, everyone. Hope that you're having a great day. Last Sunday, we wrapped up the Elijah series, and we talked about Elijah's depression. We talked about how to learn how to become depressed based on following a great man of God. Now, Elijah had just come off of this high of defeating not only King Ahab, but really all the false gods that the people were worshiping. And then he prayed and it rained, and it hadn't rained for 3.5 years. He had this great faith behind him. But the king's wife, Jezebel, said, "You're going to be dead in 24 hours if I catch you." And so Elijah runs away and forgets about all the things that God had done in his life up to that point. And we find Elijah in a great state of depression because, first of all, he let himself get wore out. He was worn out physically, emotionally, spiritually. Second of all, he isolated himself. He told his servant, "You stay here," and he went on a day ahead, so he was all alone. And then the lies began to go over and over again in his head. Things that weren't true just kept repeating themselves, and so he began to believe the lies. And then last, he forgot his need for the Lord, and that it was the Lord that had done all these amazing, miraculous things through him to begin with. And so he finds himself in this place, but the Lord is also there. And so when we find ourselves in a place where we are down, where we're depressed, where we've allowed ourselves to get worn out, where we've isolated ourselves, where we start to believe the lies, and where we forget that God is there and all the things that God has done, we see that the Lord is still there. And so what he does is he provides rest for Elijah. Sometimes the most spiritual thing we can do is simply to rest in the Lord. And then he reminds him of the truth. And he asks Elijah to voice the lies that he believes, and he starts to fill him with the truth. We have the truth of the Word of God and his truth about how much he loves us and what he's done for us and how he's provided for us in the past and how he'll provide for us in the future. And we replace those lies with the truth. And then God reminds him of his mission. Elijah, go and do what prophets do. And so after our rest, and we get that truth in our heart and in our mind, God says, now go back to who I created you to be. I've got a plan for you. I've got a purpose for you. I've got a mission for you. As long as you're here in this world, I've got things that I want to do through you. And so while it's easy to follow Elijah into this pit of depression, God says, I want to free you from that. And I want to lead you to life and life to the fullest, as Jesus promised. And that is my prayer for you today. That maybe, regardless of where you find yourself, that you see that God is right there with you, wanting to lead you out into a life of joy and peace and hope. Because there's always hope. There's always hope. God bless you all and have a great week.